Okay, hi everyone. Welcome. This is the TTT video for one of our older games called Cerebration. This simulation called Cerebration is inspired by the whole brain thinking process that has been researched and popularized by Herman. So it's based on the Herman brain dominance inventory, which says that whenever we are making decisions, whenever we are thinking, to have a more holistic approach, we need to access four parts of our brain. And he color codes it and calls it the red, green, blue, and yellow, right? So I'm not going to take too much time explaining that concept to you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you how the simulation works, right? So let me go ahead and share my screen and take you through the storyline of the simulation and then the various collaterals related to the simulation. So as usual, like it is for most of our games, in this case also, we are going to divide the entire group into smaller teams situated on separate tables. Each team should have 3 to 5 members, and we introduce the game by showing them a deck. In this deck, currently, the storyline is represented as text. But what we are shortly going to do is we are going to convert all this text into a video so that it's much easier to understand, much easier, much more engaging to watch. But anyway, let me take you through the storyline. So the storyline goes like this. This is one of the rare games that we have where we are not taking them through a corporate context, but are, taking them outside the corporate. So this is a game about building or renovating a house. Yeah, so you bought an apartment. This has been one of the most cherished decisions that you've made. You've been waiting to buy your own house. But the house that you've bought, even though it's in a very premium location, it's an old house. It requires renovation. Yeah, it's a 40-year-old house. The construction quality is good, but given that it's 40 years old, it has gone through its wear and tear. It doesn't even have basic facilities or provisions for them like AC, oven, the water systems, the tanks, the bathroom, etc. are old style. And you're a family that you want to make sure that your family goes into a house which is 100% comfortable for each member. Now, who are these members? There are 6 members in your family, you, your spouse, your parents, and 2 children. Yeah. Your children go to school, your parents are old, and it's not like you're flushed with money, okay? Because there are many people to take care of. In the way that you choose to renovate your house, you have to consider all these 6 people. Yeah. We then introduce them to the fact that the money and time is a constraint. So the cost of the house has turned out to be far more than you anticipated. Now you're left with 20 lakh rupees, which you can invest in the renovation of your house and get it to good living condition. If you are not able to move into the house within 6 months, you will have to renew the lease of your current rented property. The current rent is 1 lakh per month. And within 6 months, if you don't complete the renovation and you don't move into this new house, your lease will be up for renewal. Yeah. If you vacate less than 6 months before, in less than 6 months, then you also will end up getting 50,000 rupees back from your landlord. Yeah. So what your landlord has said is he has agreed to return your 50K security deposit if you commit to vacating earlier. So the max time that you have is 6 months. Beyond that, for every extra week or month spent, you end up paying 1 lakh. So even if they take instead of um 6 months, that's 24 weeks, they end up taking 25 weeks, you still end up paying 1 lakh extra because the landlord will take money for that extra week in the form of a month. Yeah. And if you vacate earlier than 6 months, then you end up getting 50,000 rupees from your landlord. If you exceed the committed time of 6 months, you stand to lose even more money by paying higher rent or having to live at exorbitantly priced service apartments, a hotel, or having to renew the lease for another 11 months. So we are putting 2 constraints on our players. A, money, 20 lakhs only, and B, time, 6 months at max. Yeah. it's in your best interest to renovate quickly and move quickly. So the objective of the game, as I clearly stated, is complete the renovation of your apartment within the specified team, which is 26 weeks, and the budget, which is 20 lakhs. The team that saves maximum money and time will be declared the winner. But remember, it's your house, bought after a lot of thinking. There are 6 family members. You have to make sure that all of them are satisfied and happy. The city that you live in is Delhi, which sees extreme weather conditions. It's very cold also in the winter months. It's very hot also in the summer months. Yeah. So keep all that in mind. What are the rules of the game? This is a team activity. You will be on a table which will have 4 to 5 players, and each table will get the complete game kit. The game is played across 8 rounds. For every round, the trainer will blow a whistle and the round starts. Each team will need to pick up the situation card pertaining to that round. Each member of the team gets 2 minutes to make their individual choices and enter them on the personal choice sheet provided. This is important. So there is obviously team consensus that happens, and the team puts up their response for every situation after discussion. But an individual also needs to record their observation on the individual choice sheet given to each player. And I'll explain to you how. After that, the team gets 3 minutes to choose the team answer. So first, the individual records their choice for every situation. And after that, the team response is recorded. Team response can be different from your individual response. Teams will have to spend money and time based on their choice and the related impact. The individual team member gets colored dots or color pencils based on the specific colors based on your choice. So every choice has a color attached to it, and the team member will have to sort of stick the color dot or use the color pencil for that situation card based on the choice that they have chosen. And the 4 colors in the game for making choices are red, blue, green, and yellow. This sheet has to be preserved by everyone because it will be used in the debrief of the game in the end. The game board will continuously track the money spent and the time spent. It'll be tracked on the game board itself. Very importantly, there are 3 stages to the home renovation. The first 2 weeks out of the first 2 weeks out of the 26 weeks is spent on preparation and budgeting. So in round 1, as part of preparation and budgeting, you have to choose the contractor and make payments. And you have to pay advance to the contractor depending on the contractor you have chosen. The second stage is on-site planning. This can take any number of weeks. It's based on the contractor. Yeah, so rounds 2, 3, and 4 are about on-site planning. So round 1 is the preparation and budgeting phase, which is fixed as 2 weeks for every team. Every team will spend 2 weeks on this. There's no less or more. But after this, round 1, round 2, 3, 4, the amount of time and money spent is based on the choices that each team has made. Choice made in terms of the contractor chosen. And the third stage is execution. That's also based on the contractor. That's stage 3. This is where the house actually starts getting renovated. This is round 5 and 6. Sorry, and of course, there is stage 4 as well. I forgot about stage 4. This is the final touches to your house, which is white goods and finishing. These are the last 2 rounds. Oh, I'm going to repeat myself. Only in round 1 is the time fixed at 2 weeks. Round 1 takes 2 weeks. So it's 1 round in game time, but in real time, it's 2 weeks gone. And then from round 2 to 8, the number of weeks spent and the amount of money spent is based on the choices that you have made. Make that very clear. These are the slides that you need to show. You don't have to show the next set of slides. Those are the debrief slides. Now let me take you through the collaterals of this game. I'm going to share my screen again and tell you what collaterals are. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to share with you is the game board itself. So every table will get this game board. Just give me a moment. The PDF is opening. Okay, great, finally. Sorry about the speed. My computer is running very slow these days. All right. So here's what the game board looks like. You have this wheel that tracks time, and you have two spaces to keep money. Okay. So they'll be getting 20 lakh rupees in the form of notes. Each note has a denomination of 25,000. So on the left-hand side, it says total amount left. So initially, all your 20 lakh rupees will be stacked here. And then as they move through the rounds, they'll pick up money from here and keep it here. This is the total money spent. If they finish their 20 lakhs, then they can borrow more money from you as a facilitator. Yeah. But they start with 20 lakhs. At the end, they simply count this total amount left to understand how much they've spent. Or they can count this stack of total amount spent and tell you how much they've spent. Every team will get a peg, which has to be kept here in week number 1. Yeah. And then in the inner circle, if you see the orange circle of the game board, they'll keep moving up depending on the choices they make and the number of weeks that they exhaust. As you can see, the inner circle has 26 weeks in all. In case they exceed 26 weeks, then they go to the outer gray circle, which has week number 27 to week number 36. The peg starts moving on the outer circle. Till they remain on the inner circle, there's no penalty. The moment they move to the outer circle, they start incurring penalty in the form of more money spent to either renew the lease or to rent a larger serviced apartment or hotel or whatever it is. As a facilitator, as soon as you notice that a team has moved beyond week number 26, you can ask them that, okay, are you choosing to stay in the same house? In which case you need to pay 1 lakh as rent per month that you spend. So from week number 27 to 30, they will end up paying, if they stay within this range, then they will end up paying 1 lakh as rent. And if they go beyond this to week number 31, they pay another 1 lakh from week number 31 to 34. And if they go even beyond that, then they end up paying 3 lakhs, 1 more lakh for week number 35 and 36. Typically, in my experience, maximum time taken by a team is around 28, 29 weeks. A lot of teams finish within the 26 weeks. Yeah. When the game starts, we give them this particular game board, the cash, which is printed, which is denominations of 25,000, 20 lakh rupees. We give them a peg. What we also give them is simply the first round 1 card. We don't give them all the cards, and I'll explain to you why. Yeah. Now, the situation cards or the round cards are in the form of a greeting card. The front of the greeting card has the situation written down, and inside you will see the 4 options are written down with the impact on money, with the impact on time. What you'll also see is that for all the 4 options, option number 1, 2, 3, and 4, the back side of the option has a color code associated with it. Yeah. So for example, out here, if you see, I don't think you can see it very clearly because the colors are not showing up very properly. But this one, option number 1 is red color. Option number 2 is actually blue color. Option number 3 is actually yellow color. And option number 4 is actually green color. That's the background of the printed file. Yeah. For round number 2, again, it's blue, green, yellow, and red, the four options in the background of the, that section where option 1, 2, 3, 4 are written. If you keep going down further, it's yellow, green, blue, and red, and so on and so forth. So if you remember, I told you that every team member has to write the option they've chosen individually for each round, and they also have to color code there. So the color coding is the background color of the option chosen. I hope that's clear to everyone. Yeah. Also, as I had mentioned, round number 1 is choose contractor round. Round number 2 is on-site planning. Round number 3 is also on-site planning. As you can see, it's written on the card on-site planning. Round number 4, it says round 4, it's again on-site planning. Round number 5 and 6, if you remember, were execution phases. So here we are, round number 5, execution. Round number 6, execution. And round number 7 and 8 were finishing rounds. So it says round 7, finishing, and round 8, finishing. Okay. Let me explain how the story progresses. Round number 1 is where you have chosen a contractor. So you have, just bought a house, etc., etc. And then it says 4 contractors. Choose any one. For each contractor, the payment terms, the money, and the time that the contractor has promised will be written down. So there are 4 contractors: contractor Viraj, contractor Chirag, contractor Jeevan, and contractor Shashi. They need to discuss amongst themselves and choose a contractor. Now, round 1 takes a total of 2 weeks to do this planning, meet the contractors, and decide which contractor you want to go for. Every team will move up by 2 weeks. So on the game board, they'll move from week 1 to week 3. No change there. But how much time will the contractor take in terms of what is he committing in terms of completing the renovation is written here. So contractor Viraj is saying, I'll take a total of 13 weeks to finish your renovation. Contractor Chirag is promising 15 weeks. This guy, Jeevan, is promising 15 weeks. Shashi is planning 13 weeks. They're also saying how much money will they take overall for their services. 15 lakhs plus 3 lakhs material fee, 12 lakhs plus 3 lakhs, whatever, all that is written. They're also writing down their payment terms: 20% advance payment, rest after 13 weeks, 50% advance payment, rest after 15 weeks. That's project completion, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So that's the first round. So what you give them the cards, they choose the options. Accordingly, what you need to do is, first of all, you need to get them to move up by 2 weeks, and then you give them, if you see, track cards. Track cards have to be given after round number 1 is completed, and every contractor has a separate set of track cards. So if you see, there are 4 types of track cards. Jeevan is separate, Shashi is separate, Viraj is separate, and this is the first contractor. I'm forgetting the name. Okay. Okay. So if you see, for every contractor, we have small cards. These are very small visiting size cards, right? And what track cards a team gets depends on the contractor they have chosen, right? So if they've chosen Jeevan, they'll get the track cards only for Jeevan. If they've chosen Shashi, they'll get the track cards only for Shashi, and so on and so forth. The situation cards remain the same, but the track cards changes. Now, what is the purpose of the track cards? That track cards actually track and tell them how much money they need to pay to the contractor and when, for instance, and then they're all kept face down. So on one side, it says after completing round 1, they have to pick up this particular card after completing round 1. So after completing round 1, they turn this card around and it'll read something. Please pay advance for materials. Please pay 3 lakhs as material fee to your contractor. Move your money chip accordingly. Right? So the first thing that the first thing that they do is pay the advance to the contractor. That is based on whatever contractor you have chosen. For example, with Viraj, you'll pay 20% advance. Yeah, so 20% of 15 lakhs, 3 lakhs you will pay to your contractor, and that kind of money you'll move from the left side of the board to right side of the board if you've chosen Viraj. With Chirag, you have to pay 50% advance, so 6 lakhs in the very beginning. With Jeevan, you have to pay 50% advance, so 6 lakhs in the very beginning. And contractor Shashi, you have to pay 50% advance, that's 7.5 lakhs in the very beginning. Yeah. After completing round one, they have all moved up equal number of weeks. That's 2 weeks that they've spent in planning. But depending on the contractor chosen, they end up paying the amount of advance that needs to be paid. That's the work to be done for round one. After that, they pick up this track card for their respective contractor. So you would have chosen them, given them the correct track card. If someone has chosen Chirag, they get this track card. And immediately after completing round one, they pick up this track card and they say, oh, Chirag is already asking for 3 lakhs as material fee. So you move another 3 lakhs from the left side of your game board to the right side. I hope that's clear. And from now on, the track cards have to be picked up as and when you complete a particular round or before you start another round. So it's clearly written down. It's arranged in an order and it's clearly written down what to be done then. For instance, for Chirag, after completing round 4, they pick up this track card. And it says you have spent 3 weeks with your contractor in this round, move your time chip accordingly. So in the next set of planning, on-site planning that they've done, they've spent 3 weeks, so they need to move their time chip up by 3 weeks. Before starting round 5, they need to pick the next round, pay extra 1 lakh to your contractor for extra materials. So he's now asking for more materials and so on and so forth. Okay. So depending on the contractor you've picked up, you will end up having a different set of track cards. I hope this is clear to everyone. They have to keep reminding them that please keep picking up your track cards. Don't forget picking up your track cards and taking action based on your track cards. It could be about spending more money or spending more time. For instance, here it's about spending more time. There's a water problem in the society, water will not be available. And so project delayed by 2 weeks. So you have to move up your chip by 2 weeks. Yeah. Now coming back to the round cards. So after round 1 is completed and they get their track cards and take action as per the track card, then round 2, which is the on-site planning round, will start. This is about deciding whether they want to go for a green building or not. Again, it's their choice completely. They can choose any of the 4 options. For all the 4 options, some money is spent and some time is taken and they move their time chip and money chip accordingly. Next round, round number 3, is about bathroom renovation. What are they going to do as far as bathroom renovation is concerned? Again, 4 options, each having different money implication and time implication. Round 4 is about bringing a structural change in your house, in the construction of your house. Again, do you want to do it? What do you want to do? Time and money implication is given. So these 3 rounds were about planning, whether you'll go for green building, what kind of renovation you want to do in the bathroom, and whether you'll go for a structural change. Now comes the execution phase. Execution phase, there are 2 rounds. One is called electrician messes up. What will you do now? Again, 4 options with different time and cost implication, and a plumber mess up. Same, 4 options with different time and money implications. 3 options, sorry. And finally, you have the last 2 rounds, which is finishing. This is about suddenly the medical insurance for your family has come up for renewal. You hadn't budgeted for this. It's a sudden hit that you're getting. What are you going to do? And what kind of AC and curtains do you want in your house? Again, 4 options given. Please keep reminding them to make their choices apparent in their individual reflection sheet. So the individual reflection sheet is very, very simple. Let me show that also to you. You will, there are 3 different formats. Yeah. Mostly we use this format. Very simple. For each round, write down the option that you have individually chosen. round one, let's say I've chosen option number 3 individually, then you need to simply color in the circle here, one of the circles, red, blue, yellow, green, whatever it is. Yeah, depending on the background of the choice that you've taken. Round number 2, let's say you have gone for no green building at all, then again you write that answer as an individual and then the background color as an individual. Okay. Once all 8 rounds are done, you just keep a track of who is the team that has ended up saving maximum money and saving maximum time, and that particular team ends up becoming the winning team. You call them onto the stage, you celebrate with them, and then you ask them how the game went, what disagreements did you have on the table, how did you go about making decisions about in the 4 different rounds, 4 different stages and the 8 different rounds. What were the kind of discussions happening on the table? Did you notice, difference in thinking styles? Did you notice that different people make decisions differently, etc., etc.? Then we introduce the debrief slides. So the debrief slides, as you can see, talks about the whole brain thinking model, which has 4 different styles: blue, green, red, and yellow. The blue style is the rational style, which is very logical, very analytical, very number driven in the way that they make decisions. The second color is the safekeeping color, the practical color. That's the green color. This is a risk averse style of thinking. The decisions are taken after a lot of due diligence. They do their best to take any cautionary and preventive measures to make sure that their decision goes right. They will usually have a plan B. The red style is the feeling style. They will always make decisions after considering everyone's views. They're very sensitive about how their decisions are impacting others. They're usually emotional, supportive. They talk a lot to people, try to get them onboarded very fast. The yellow style, which is D, is the experimental decision-making style, which is about taking risks, trying something new, breaking rules, doing something which has not been done before, etc., etc. Yeah. So you explain the 4 styles to them. I usually use the example of buying a car, and someone who makes the decision of buying the car with the dominant blue color will actually do a lot of online studies and do comparative analysis, understand which cars are selling, what's the mileage, what's the engine power, etc., etc., and what's the value for money, and then decide on the car. People who lead with the green color, they will usually think about the worst that can happen with the car. What if my car breaks down in the middle of the road? Will they provide support? If I have to sell my car later on, what's the resale value that I get? What kind of warranty schemes that I have? So they are constantly trying to be very practical about what if there are problems. The red color people, when they're buying a car, will think about, okay, who are the team members that I have? Who are the family members that I have? How can I make sure everyone feels happy? Everyone loves the car that they are in? How do I take care of little needs of theirs? For my children, I need this kind of car where they can sleep. For my elder parents, it has to be the kind of car where, they don't have to bend a lot or sit very low, etc. And people who lead with the yellow color will try and do something new, buy an absolutely new launch, be the first in the town to have bought that car, go for a new technology, um, you know, do something very, very different, even if there is lack of data to suggest the merit and demerit of that. As soon as I use this example, people pretty much start understanding the 4 colors quite well. And Herman's research says that we usually dominate with 2 colors. We are usually, let's say, a blue and a green. So I'm rational and practical or safekeeping. Or I am, red and yellow. So I am feeling as well as experimental. Very few people have a whole brain approach. But the idea is to make sure that we are considering all sides before making a decision. So we use all 4 colors. And that's the meritance sitting on the table and discussing the game. Some people may have been very experimental about renovating their house. Some people may have been very risk averse and practical. Some people may have been very sensitive and emotional about their parents and children. And some people may have been very data driven, value for money, what are my options, etc. So on the table, as they were discussing, they will anyway get to know, what their predominant style was and who were the others in terms of their color and what kind of conversations were happening. Were they challenging each other? How did they take to being challenged by others? Were they able to open up perspectives and understand how someone else is thinking? There are no right or wrong styles. There's no research from Herman to say that this particular thinking style is better than that. All that he says is the best style is when we have used all the four lenses. That's good decision making. No one can ever be sure whether the decision you're making is correct or not. That you'll only know later when you look at your decision in hindsight. But what you can do is you can, before making the decision, start looking at things holistically and, not surprise yourself later. We sometimes also give a self-assessment inventory for them to understand their predominant approach to decision making, but mostly we don't. Mostly we simply ask them to pick up their individual reflection sheet and see what color is dominating. So in their individual decision making sheet for the 8 rounds, they would have chosen certain options. And there you will see some trends. Some people will have 4 out of 8 yellows or greens or reds or blues. And then you say, hey, that's some data for you. In the way that you were making decisions or you were thinking, not the team, but you individually were thinking, you demonstrated a particular approach. Is that true for life as well? Is that true for work as well? Yeah. Or some people may have 3 greens and 3 blues. That means you have 2 colors that are dominating. Yeah. So go up that route, talk a little bit about it, ask them where in life does this approach show, or is it very different at work? If so, why is it different at work? What colors do you use a lot at work? Or have you ever got feedback about your decision-making approach? Then we do an exercise where, okay, this is just a breakup of this. What kind of questions all the 4 styles ask? So the blues ask a lot of what questions, the greens ask a lot of practical how questions, the reds feeling ask a lot of who questions, who's impacted, etc. And the yellow colors ask a lot of why questions. Why do we need to do this? Why can't we do it a different way? And so on and so forth. And then we share with them the strengths and challenges of each style. This is done as a chart paper activity. Each table is given a particular color of decision making: blue, green, red, and yellow. What they have to think about and present is the 3 top strengths of this thinking style and 3 gaps of the thinking style and 3 ways in which this thinking style can be developed or inculcated. And then as they are presenting, please support them with these slides. We have these slides on each of the 4 decision-making styles, their strengths, their shortcomings, and how to develop. So you can use these colors, these colorful slides to support the presentation made by them. And then we usually end, this is just a summary, and then we usually end with a case study where we apply whole brain thinking. So either you can continue with the same themes, or you can actually shuffle the people and give them a case study and say, now I want you to apply the 4 lenses one after the other. So first wear the blue lens, the blue colored approach, and ask a lot of rational questions. Then wear the green colored hat, ask a lot of practical questions. Then wear the yellow hat and then the red hat. And this is how the team would have considered multiple perspectives and built a more holistic way of thinking. So that's how it goes. The total play time is about an hour, 60 minutes from the time that you introduce the game, and then 8 rounds completed. Usually takes about 5-6 minutes each for each round. Please don't take more than 60 minutes. So, move the team, pace it up. And then another, in this case, another hour at least for the debrief, because we introduce them to the Herman brain dominance inventory. Yeah. So that's all from my side. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.